our season of the pour. Where each person is pouring into one another and we're learning from one another. It doesn't matter the vessel that's being poured into, so long as God is doing the pouring. Excited you guys joined. And I want to thank you guys for joining the vessel and the pour. That is our prayer for 30 minutes. As long as you have prayer while learning, it does coincide with our learning. So listen up to the pour. Check out the pour up next. Hi, welcome to another episode of The Pour TV. I wanted to talk to you guys today about stewardship, being a servant of God. Especially since like the things and the cares of life can sometimes overtake us and make us question, like, am I qualified? Am I supposed to do this? Did God this? Is this something I should continue doing? Or sometimes you just question, like, am I a servant at all? Like, am I just doing this to go out there because I went? You know, am I sent? Am I equipped? Am I anointed for this? Am I appointed for this time? These are questions that arise in some of the servants or some evangelists or people that are just starting out in God and opening up to serving God. And in Luke 14, because God was talking to me about stewardship, because I was questioning, like, oh, do I just, not lay it down, just like, oh, take a break now because things are happening. He's like, no, that's the best time, because you begin to preach a message to yourself. You begin to preach a message to that person that is going through things such as yourself. So in Luke 14, the cost of disciples, great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and ship and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and he tells you to do, in that you will become blessed. Then whosoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. If you don't fully serve, he tells you to do. And you won't fully receive the blessing that God has for you. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counted the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Count the cost. Do I have enough? Am I able to finish it with what I have? Just count the cost, not like counting the money, counting what it's going to take. Am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to have time to do this? Recently I had a baby and I have to go to work. I'm like, do I have time to do this? Like, count the cost. Sometimes it's like, oh my God, the cares of life, like people beating up against my back, the power or anything sufficient or grace. Is God giving me anything, or am I sitting on an empty tank? God has always supplied what I need, even though I count on it and ask myself, am I capable? Am I able? Will I be able to finish it? Even the next verse, lest happily after he hath laid the foundation is not able to finish it all, behold, it begin too much in him. It begins to mock him. What you started begins to tell you, like, you're not capable, you're not able, you're not sufficient. God has not sent you. God is not giving you this, with you on that. God has left you. You're in hell. Like, God is not in hell with you. And why are you preaching a word if you're hellish? Even with you on that. Even if you're preaching bad about God, you're still preaching. Whenever you're letting someone know about Jesus, whether good or bad, you're still preaching. So God is okay with you preaching to the four corners of the earth. You begin to think that the mocking you is preventing you. The mocking you is like some kind of lesson learned or experience. It's something to help you. The mocking you is able to let you know that this is what you need to do. The mocking you lets you know that I'm doing something right. They always say when people are speaking bad about something, when you don't hear them saying nothing, then you're not doing nothing at all, and they don't need to stop you. The pour was something where God has poured unto me, to others, because I found myself when I'm preaching a message or speaking a message or just talking, that sometimes that message is not only preaching to me, or it's helping somebody else that's going through the same situation. So it doesn't have to be some kind of like holier than thou or righteous thing. It's telling me about the power of so, S-O. There's definitely power in S-O-W, but so what? You don't have to add anything to let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Let them say that they're redeemed. But sometimes you just got to say so to a situation. That's how I always have taken that Bible verse. Let them me to like, oh, regardless, whatever, continue on, nevertheless. So let the redeemed of the Lord say so. And it has led me to like, I think my attitude problem began to allow me to say so. You know, like, so what? So who cares? You know? So I'm going to do this anyway. So regardless or despite what's going on, I'm going to continue to do this, because sometimes people will cause turmoil in your life just so you don't do it. And because you're doing a great thing and you're doing it so good that they'll begin to do that. And you need to learn the power of so. So I hear little kids say it all the time, so. And they continue on and keep on, that they'll be, if you do it just like the little babes, just like the Bible tells us, and you'll be able to say so. And I know it says, let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Let the redeemed of the Lord say that they're redeemed. But how, if you do it, however, if you begin to say so, you begin to become redeemed. You begin to show that you are redeemed when you say so, because you begin to continue on in your redemption. Nevertheless, Luke talks about the narrow door in Luke chapter 13, verse 22 through 24. And he went through the cities and villages, teaching and journeying toward Jerusalem. God says he finishes what he is building. You who thinks it's over, God is not done. Sometimes we think, oh, it's finished, it's done. There's still more to complete. I always tell people there's more stuff I got to do. There's something else I got to do. Then said one unto God is not done to the Lord. Are you there few that be saved? And he said unto them, strive to enter into a straight gate. For many, I say unto you, will seek to enter and shall not be able. Strive to enter the gate, but also regardless of what and who's who, try to enter and get others to enter this straight gate. Sometimes we strive so much to get ourselves, but you striving to get others into it gets you into it. And I want to let you guys know that, because sometimes you have to get in it holding hands. Sometimes you have to get in it going into it by yourself. Sometimes you just have to get in it with Jesus or as Jesus, but just so long as you get in it and serve and become a steward of God. Luke 14, 8 through 9. When thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, lest a more honorable than thou be bidden of him. We learn this a lot. We think, oh, because we're serving, we get to sit in the highest places, the front of the church, the end of the table, the front seat of the car, or just the best places, which you as servants, we think, oh, you are deserving of those. You receive those and better. But I want to let you guys know, sometimes that humble place, like Jesus would always take the lowest place, because they would begin to, you are deserving of those. You receive, upbuild him and uplift him and let people know, like, hey, this is Jesus. He needs to be here. This is Jesus. Let's place him here. You know, telling him, like, come to the head of the table. So I just want to let you guys know that sometimes people have to honor you, and we take too much into pride or things like that and don't take the lowest place of just. So I just want to let you serving, and just serving is the highest place. So we'll get you to the highest place. No matter where I go, I have an assigned seat. You already have an assigned seat, and you already know you're right. Our assigned seat is in heaven. Our assigned seat is after this serving, or while this serving, or during the process of this serving, that we are seated in heaven. We are seated in high places. Keep pouring. Check out the pour up next.